Radio Rahim with Paulie Malignaggi at home in New York City. I was making my home too, man. I'm telling you, our history goes back almost 2 decades, if you think about it. But in the last 2 hours, I've seen like several iterations of the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, starting with a press conference, which isn't unusual for us. It's where we spend most of our time.
Sure.
But not only were you on the stage this time, you were on the stage with the words bare knuckle behind you.
Yeah. It was. It's definitely something new.
Yeah, I mean, it's something new for us, but
That's what life is about. Going for some new adventures. Come on, man. You gotta keep life. Gotta spice things up, make it exciting. You know, like that's what it's about. That press conference, it made me feel like, I don't know, you rejuvenated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you had fun. You know, I leave that press conference and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this again. You know, like it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, after all that trash talk, you're in the moment. You finally step away from the moment, and you're like, "That was fun." You know, that was.
I honestly haven't seen you that animated. I mean, even big fights that you've had recently.
Like, bro, the last fun fight I had, like where I actually enjoyed it, was the Broner fight, because there's trash talking, and Broner's a great trash talker, so he could up the ante. This guy's a shitty trash talker, so it was like, it wasn't really like making me up my game. But when you got a guy, you know, who brings it out of you and whatnot, it's still fun nonetheless, you know. So that's why, you know, at least this guy, even if he's not a great trash talker, it still ups the ante, because the bad blood is real and genuine. So it was like, afterwards, I'm like, man, I was like, you know, you feel that adrenaline rush when you're in there. It's a good feeling, you know. Even afterwards, you're decompressing. I'm like, yeah, I miss that. You know, I can't wait to fight, you know.
In that, you mentioned the Broner fight. So in the Broner fight, at the time, Broner was making more headlines.
Yeah,
he was
of course.
stepping up into your realm at being 147 pounds. It's, you know, he thought he could skip a weight division. Seemed like a good advantage for you. It's something similar in this regard, in that you're stepping into some other guy's arena. You're stepping into...
Well, it's not really his arena either. You know, it's sort of a hybrid arena. You know, LOBOV only has one bare knuckle fight, you know, and it wasn't that impressive. So I think we're both stepping into a new arena, and it's like sort of a hybrid arena where, you know, each of us can maybe take some advantages from our own arenas into this one. I think it's definitely a talking point.
Yeah, well, if I can make a distinction between you and he, the 2 decades that we've spent together in boxing, I've seen you successful at every level. And me being a talker for a living, I most appreciate your analysis, your ringside commentary. What I just sat here and watched you do for 20 minutes is a marvel. I have no problem saying you're my favorite sitting on that mic ringside. So a guy like me, I've seen you come through so many battles. I've seen the danger that you put yourself in the ring that you have to. But you don't have to do this. Like, I don't want to lose that guy ringside to this guy in a circular.
But you're not going to lose that guy ringside. Honestly, I'm too good for this guy, number one. And number two, no matter what I am on a corporate level, because commentating and broadcasting, you're sort of joining the corporate world in that way with that kind of job. But I know who I am, and I don't lose sight of who I am. All my life, I've been a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up privileged, so I still love bringing that animal part of me out. You know, it doesn't completely leave you. You just know how to. You just learn how to process it and compartmentalize it. You know, but it's still dying to come out at times. You know, and there's times in my life, you know, where you try to control yourself a little better. You lose your temper or whatnot, and I think people see it at times in certain interviews I say, where I'll say the wrong things, or I'll say, you know, there's stuff that maybe I go a little too far because I'm brutally honest. But at the end of the day, that piece of me will always be dying to come out, and that piece of me will probably always have to be somewhat me attempting to control it as best I can, but sometimes it's hard to control, you know, because it's just who I am. It's just the way I'm raised and the things I've been through in my life. And so when I get a chance to let it out, like in this situation today at the press conference or at the fight next month, you know, it's sort of like a relief, like, oh, okay, you let it out, now we depressurize the situation. Now maybe it'll build up for a little while again, but at least for now, you've let the monster out, and like, you know, it's the desire is sort of short-circuited, and now I can be a normal human being again. You know, for 2 years, I can't say I miss fighting like I was dying to get into a fight. It's not that, but I also, there was a piece of me that was looking for that rush, looking for that adrenaline rush, you know, and this was it, you know, this was it. As I think about fight night and I see this go through this press conference, and even last month, the level of my adrenaline, that where it gets to, it's like, it's fun afterwards. I'm like, wow, that was a good feeling, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, I love that feeling. I'm addicted to it. It's a high. And you're not always going to have it, but the moments in your life where you do have it or you do feel it, you really live for it, you know? And it's just the kind of person I am. And so, you know, that's kind of why I think I'll always be that person at heart. But you're not gonna lose the commentator. You're not gonna lose that.
That kind of fire you're talking about is what makes a good athlete a professional athlete. What makes a contender a champion. Mm-hmm. These are the things that separate average or mediocre people that could ascend to greater heights from those who actually do. Mm-hmm. You're one of the very few guys in this business. I think everybody I've ever talked to at this level of boxing has that feeling. They had to have had it to get as far as they did. But so few hang them up at the right time.
Yeah.
Like you're like one of like a handful of guys that I could name. It was like right when you said enough, I was like, that's spot on.
It was the right time to be enough, but it was the right time, absolutely. I still don't think I could go return to boxing and reach the heights that I reached in the prime of my career. I still don't think. But one of those reasons is the extended length of these fights. Bro, when you get older, you don't have the same legs. You have the same legs for a few rounds. But the 12-round distance, or in the old days, I don't know how these guys did it, 15 rounds, it's a lot harder to reach those late rounds, even in a fight where you're doing well. Your legs sort of start to like succumb, because you don't have the same strength in your legs, you don't have the same testosterone levels naturally. Well, this doping generation, guys just add it. I wasn't the guy that added it, so I started feeling, my legs, even in fights. I remember a 12-round fight with Antonio Moscatiello in 2015 where I won it pretty handily. But I remember struggling late in that fight with my legs. I'm winning this fight easily, but I'm like, my legs don't feel great anymore. Like, it was at the end of the fight, and I'm like, this sucks, but you still have that for a 5 or 6 round process, 7 or 8 rounds, so in this kind of fighting, 2-minute rounds, short rounds, and the amount of rounds is less. It's calculated, bro. You still have the short bursts. As a matter of fact, when we train in these short bursts, and I'm explosive. I'm fast as hell, and I feel it. I feel the dominant factor is there for the shorter burst, and that's what this sport gives me. So yeah, I got out at the right time in boxing, but there's a little niche here. There's a little niche I can carve out right here, and it's not gonna be for a long time, but it's the right moment.
So you have to appreciate, as an analyst and a fighter, that people are concerned about your well-being. I'm not challenging you on this to try to talk you out of anything, but to have you address what's the comment section is going to be filled with.
Yeah, I think the conversation is filled with having seen ARTEM LOBOV fight, and for most people that was the only bare knuckle fight they watched. But if you watch some of the undercard fights and you watch some of the fights on those cards, they're not all that bloody and they're not all that violent. With respect to even Jason Knight, who fought his ass off that night, it was 2 very limited guys. And even in boxing, if you put 2 very limited guys in a ring, in a regular boxing with gloves, you're going to get a violent fight, because defensively, that's if they're not up to par, damage will be taken by both guys. LOBOV and Knight was a great fight to watch for excitement, but it really doesn't tell the full story of the sport, because that sport does not give you fights like that all the time. There's a limited skill set there. That was the reason why that fight became what it became. And most of the fights in BKFC, if you watch them, they're not all that violent to that level. So you have to understand the placement of that fight as opposed to, the looks you're going to get in my fight with him. Yeah, I'm not telling you don't get in the shower without getting wet. You get hit, is a fight. But at the end of the day, they're not all like that. And I think people, when they worry about my safety, they're probably looking at that fight and say, wow, all these fights are like that. It's not even close, bro. And this fight itself won't be that close.
Your hands. I'm looking at your hands right here. They're not gonna have any padding on them. When I'm so dumb, when I heard bare knuckle, I was like, oh, well, they're just using hand wraps. They're like, no, idiot, bare knuckle.
Yeah, and you'll notice some scabs over my knuckles and whatnot. But
there's like a surgery here.
Well, that's a surgery from a past surgery that I had back when I was breaking my hands. But in reality, the only thing that's going on with my hands are scarring around the knuckles. That's fine. I'll open up the skin sometimes around the knuckles, but that's fine as long as the structural part of my hand, which is the bones, is doing good. And the reason you're seeing all the scabs on my knuckles is because we are hitting barehanded. We're hitting pads barehanded. We're hitting the bag barehanded. We're strengthening our hands. We're getting used to that. And the fact that I have no injuries, and the fact that structurally my hands are sustaining this, the skin is not going to matter. You know what I'm saying? That you can punch with broken skin. That's not a problem. Structurally, you have to maintain it, though. And structurally, we are maintaining it. And there's sharp combinations, and that's really the bottom line. Is as long as that remains where it needs to be, and it's there. And I think we're only going to get sharper as we devise our exact game plan. I think it's going to be devastating. I really do. I punch very fast. I have proper balance, so I can follow up the assaults. Unlike in the Conor McGregor sparring session, I can follow up anytime I land a combination with another combination. You know, I'll be in shape wind-wise, you know, oxygen-wise. So I can hit you and then follow up with an assault and an assault and an assault, and we'll see where you can go from there. You know, and that's really what I'm looking forward to, because I don't see a lot of proper balance in the BKFC fights I've seen so far. And in the fighters that have proper balance, when they punch and when they're throwing, they're able to defend properly and they're able to follow up properly. And those guys aren't taking a lot of damage, or those girls even, because Beck Rawlings is one of the girls I saw, and she was very good.
You and ARTEM clearly have a lot of animosity between you. There's bad blood there.
Yeah, he's a liar.
No doubt.
I think today I also proved one of the lies. You know, when he was talking about that I'm a cover-up guy, and that's the only reason I went to a rounds I covered up. I think the more I slowly keep exposing the lies, the more at least non-groupies and common sense people will know what I'm talking about. You know, because if you're lying about this, and you're lying about this, and you're lying about this, and I expose certain lies, then your abnormal common sense person will probably say, well, what else? You know what? What else are they lying about? Because now that's a few lies Paulie's exposed, and there's a lot of things we don't know. Is it possible that they're lying about the other things too? Like, you have to start. A common sense person will start to think that.
The conversation we're having about him reminds me of the conversation, but in a much more even aggressive context about Conor McGregor. Like,
well, the same thing. He's lying. That's something. That whole team is just a bunch of liars.
But if you have success here, you get that rush that you're talking about. If this goes the way you expect, you destroy the guy. Mm-hmm. What are the chances that this is really just an appetizer for you calling McGregor out? Like, can you actually hang him up after this if you do what it is that you expect?
Yeah, you can't put a gun to McGregor's head and make him fight me. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to hang him up. I don't know what I'm going to do after this fight. You know, like, you know, I'll go back and talk to Feldman and the rest of my team and figure it out. But I don't think about the Conor. I didn't take this fight for the Conor McGregor aspect of it. The selling point, sure, I knew the Conor McGregor aspect of it would sell this fight. But realistically,
you're not trying to bait him into
realistically speaking, this was a good fight, opportunity-wise, financially, for the risk. Like, for the risk involved, which is not that much, the purse was worth it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know, this guy's not that good, so, you know, the purse is worth it. You know what I mean? You give me this purse for a boxing match against a Charlo or something, fuck no, it's not worth it. No, I know where my level's at. But you know what? This guy's limited. This money makes it worth it. You know, you have to negotiate a price according to the risk-reward factor, right? I don't see much of a risk in this fight, you know? So of course it was worth it. So I looked at it from that perspective, and then I looked at it from, you know what, it's going to get a lot of attention. And I do crave that, you know, big promotion again, you know, that, you know, you always crave that, you know? So you're like, you know, this is going to get headlines if I join it. I thought to myself, you know, like, you know, people are going to be shocked, you know, when I announce this, if I do this, you know. So, you know, we negotiated a deal. McGregor, yeah, it's always there. The conversation's always there, but I don't think the guy's going to fight, and I didn't do it for McGregor. You know what I'm saying? Could it bring out a McGregor fight? Yeah, sure, that's always a possibility. But I don't rate that happening. I don't expect it to happen. But I did feel that the McGregor aspect of it, because people, you know, like you and like everybody else would think, oh, see, he's doing this to get McGregor. You know, so automatically it's going to become a talking point. And the more talking points a fight has, the better it sells, right? And the more marketability it achieves. So I did think automatically for that. But in reality, the McGregor beef was annoying because it was chock full of lies. But, you know, it creates this fight, which is weird. You know what I'm saying? Me and ARTEM both are gonna, you know, get the fight and make money off this fight, even if Conor is not directly involved in it. So, you know, it's weird how it all kind of opened itself up to the public.
The debate between boxing and MMA, it rages on. Like you said, this is something of a hybrid between the two. It's not quite boxing, traditional. It's certainly not MMA. You've had a lot to say about Conor McGregor in particular. But what do you feel about the MMA profession as a combat sport?
Respect, you know, as far as anybody that fights for a living. I've always said that. Respect anybody that fights for a living. But unfortunately, I haven't seen the same respect given back when you asked a lot of those guys the same questions, you know, their fan base the same question, you know. Me, I know how hard it is to make a living in combat sports. I know how hard it is to be a fighter, no matter what level you fight on. You know, to be a professional fighter is not an easy way to make a living. So I always say respect to those guys. But when I don't see the respect being reciprocated, I do start to lose respect for that other side, you know, and because
You spit on the guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's not a disrespect to mixed martial arts. That's that's me more not respecting anybody on that side in any way at all. Like, that's not, you know, like I didn't spit on him because he's a mixed martial artist. You know, I spit on him because I don't like him or anybody on that side. I think they're posers, they're hypocrites, they're liars, they're actors. You know, they're bullshit artists. You know, in every way. Even Conor gives you this whole lie, like he's the toughest guy in the world. He gets in the cage and he's telling Khabib, no, it was just business. Don't hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're selling a lie, and people are stupid enough to buy it because your fan base is that stupid. But, you know, I'm not stupid enough to buy it. I know my fan base isn't stupid enough to buy a lie. Boxing fans are tough to please because they know they can tell the real from the fake for the most part, you know? So, you know, I spit on them because I don't have any patience for any lack of respect from these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told them today, I told them the first time around, don't let me near him. I don't want him near me. Just, you know, let it promote and don't put him near me, you know? I said it today. I said, bro, I slapped him last time. You know already, you know, what I feel, don't let him near me, you know? And I don't want to be near him. Like, I just don't have I don't like the guy. And more so than that, I don't have to like you, but I can respect you. I don't like the guy, nor do I respect him. So, nor do I respect or like any of the other guys on that side. So it's hard to control myself, especially when he started coming out of pocket, you know, and, you know, when he started pointing, I was too far enough to smack him again, so I spit on him. You know, when there's no respect there, there's no need to do anything respectful at all. You know, honestly, he had his chance to talk on the podium, right? What did he say? He said 90 seconds worth of words, if even that. Then I started talking, and he wouldn't shut up. And then as soon as I got up there, he got up like he wanted to have his say. But you just had your say, you know. So what did I do? I had to bop him off his head with a microphone. You know what I'm saying? Because you know. You just got your chance to speak. You had nothing to say. And now when I'm talking, you want to take my side and you want to take over like the mic and get up out of your seat. But I don't know if you've ever been a part of press conferences or main event press conferences, but you know, in a normal press conference, you get your say, I get my say, then we take the field questions, and that's how it works. Like, maybe he's never been a part of this because he's been such a bum his whole career, but I think he thought like when his turn was over, like now he wanted to just get his turn again. Like, wait, not you wait your turn once again, you know? So I didn't like that he, again, tried to get in my face. I didn't like any of it, you know? We're not boxing in there. I'll hit you with a microphone. I'll hit you with the fucking table. I'll hit you with a chair. I don't care, bro. Stay away from me because you don't know how I'm going to react, nor do I care how I react in that instant.
These kind of things are not uncommon in boxing. I've been in plenty of press conferences. Yeah, a couple guys spit on a guy.
Yeah, didn't Chisora throw the table one time? Yeah.
That happens. Mm-hmm. But right now, the networks that are involved, the kind of criticism that the writers are doing when it comes to how guys promote themselves, you're a throwback. These kind of things are normal. But when we're hearing guys like Deontay Wilder say he wants to kill a guy in the ring, and ironically, Big Baby Miller accusing Joshua cheating and all these kind of things, people are more sensitive now than they were before.
Yeah, but Nick, it's hard to be sensitive on fight week, bro. I'm sorry.
But do you think it's warranted? Do you think that?
I don't think anything is unwarranted when two guys are gonna fight. You know, when two guys are gonna fight, and if two guys aren't gonna fight, okay, you know, there's lines you don't cross because you know you're not gonna fight. But especially fight week, I mean that's it. I mean there's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of not just bad blood, but there's a competitive aspect as well. You know, you feel a threat, and you're on your high guard and you're on your game mentally, and so you're in a place in an evil way almost where you're not going to be that place aside from fight weeks of your life. And since most people will never experience a fight week in their life, they cannot understand this mental state that a fighter goes through, and we have to be there because it's for our own protection. You know, you have to get to that point where it's kill or be killed. You know, even if it may not be, you have to still feel that way because if you don't have that mentality, you're not going to be at your highest alert and you're on your highest guard to protect yourself. Because you know, being mean is part of protecting yourself as well. You know, if you're not mean and then the assault comes your way, you can't withstand it. You know what I'm saying? You're also not going to react correctly. You know, so people don't understand this mental state. You know, but I think fighters, for the most part, we understand it, and we're not usually thinking like this aside from, you know, right before the fight. You know, like you saw Deontay Wilder after the Brazil fight. He was totally normal. He was totally cool. You know, because you can let your guard down there. You know, like it's, you know, you kind of decompress. You know, so I think the criticism is unfair and not merited because there's a mental state you're in that is totally unrecognizable to the layman. And so I think it's unfair that they try to judge it when they will never understand what it is to be in that position.
all these different personalities in boxing. Just a few minutes ago, I heard you on your podcast talking about certain traditions being broken, like who enters the ring first, and then even fighters who need to get fights can't get them just on merit. You got to talk crap, and you got to, be a bunch of antics. Do you feel like at this point in boxing, there's someone who could be the face of boxing, or maybe who is, by your estimation?
Listen, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of potential guys. I mean, obviously, a lot of us go as the heavyweights go, and I think guys like Joshua and Wilder have done a great job promoting themselves, and they've got they're starting to develop a good fan base, especially Joshua. I mean, Joshua reminds you of like a Derek Jeter. We saw how marketable he was, how successful he was. But I think guys like Wilder, even Fury, if he keeps his act together, welterweight, the heavyweight division is amazing, But of course, even in the smaller divisions, there's potential there, Boxing has less personalities than mixed martial arts, but it's also because I think there's more of a respect factor. We've seen death. We've seen, guys close to us hurt, and I think in mixed martial arts they haven't. So they take more of a wrestling circus attribute to it. And because they know, like, no matter what, like the next week that guy will be back, we don't, boxing typically hasn't crossed certain lines because we know the severity of death or permanent brain damage in one night is realistically there, because odds are we know someone or of someone or know the family of someone who's gone through this. I've known several. So it starts to, yes, you get your game face on, but it also starts to make a respect for the game. You and for me and my part and the comments I've made in this fight, I can only speak for myself, but I've made them because it's been a lack of respect for the game. I've seen firsthand damage in people, and I know what this sport can do to people and the state that it can leave them in to the point of death. So when I see a lack of respect for it, for things I have seen with my own eyes, and the consequences that people have been left to deal with, and not just them, the families and the loved ones, I don't take to it kindly, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to respect you in any way, nor speak to you in any respectful way, nor care about your well-being anymore, because you just proved to me that you don't care about any of the well-being of the people that I knew, that I saw firsthand, that I knew, and to me that I don't take that I don't take kindly to that. I don't take that very lightly.
Being able to transition into another element of the sport in such a fashion that people appreciate you, like I said, as much outside the ring at the apron, speaking, as inside the ring boxing. What is your legacy? Where is Paulie Malignaggi plotted in history of boxing?
I don't know. I used to care. I don't care. I'm just looking to create my niche as far as, trying to be a successful person in life. I used to care about the way people remember my boxing career, the way people remember. I don't care. I really don't. As long as I can pay my bills and I'm comfortable, and I'm very happy and I'm very comfortable right now, and I'm happy to be able to continue to be successful in ways that surprise me, and my life is like one big adventure, and that's all I care about, like I care about people I love, I care about people close to me. I don't need any new friends. I don't care if I have any new friends, but I have my circle, and I love that circle, and I love the fact that life is an adventure for me every day, and I love living it, and that's it. The way people want to judge me, they can judge me. I used to value that. I don't care anymore, but my life continues to be an adventure, and that's what I like.
And the last thing that you certainly need is that one more fight, obviously.
Yeah, so an adventure.
It's an adventure. We wish you good luck and good fortune and good health in that fight.
Absolutely.
And do not ever, for any reason, think you can put that microphone down. I will come chase you down and put it in your face. This is the best guy ringside to call a fight, period. Bar none. Radio Rahim with the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi.